So I just saw the new Ari Aster film Midsommar, and it was pretty good. Although I definitely have mixed feelings about it. This is the same director as Hereditary, which I really enjoyed despite some criticisms, but you shouldn't really expect another Hereditary when coming to see this film. They are both going for completely different things. Midsommar is only 13 minutes longer than Hereditary, but it feels about an hour longer. It is a slow film, and I didn't really have any issue with the pacing because I was more or less expecting it, but it did make me appreciate Hereditary even more with how fast-paced that movie feels. As expected, the cinematography in this film is beautiful. There are plenty of interesting and visually appealing shots. Many of the shots were altered and edited to replicate the effects of psilocybin. For the most part, those sequences were really cool and felt very genuine. Anyone who's ever done magic mushrooms will definitely appreciate some of the visual replications in this film. Not only that, but the performances really help sell it as well. The way that characters act when they're having a bad trip is very convincing. They put lots of care and effort into their posture and body language. They even put detail into pupil dilation. Florence Pugh did a fantastic job, and it was really easy to empathize with her character. Some characters were written more strongly than others, but there weren't really any bad performances anywhere. One of my favorite aspects of this film was the character dynamic between her and her boyfriend. The way it was written and performed was very respectful and interesting. It allows you to interpret what the film is saying about these characters rather than shoving it down your throat. The ways that they interacted with each other felt so painfully honest and real. That was easily one of my favorite aspects of the film, and I'm really happy with how they handled it. Now back to the film's pacing, it didn't really feel like a slog. It had a sense of patience to it that I felt really helped with how things developed. There is a lot of build-up in this movie, and the build-up is its best part, because unfortunately there's not really much of a payoff. By the time it showed what it was building up to, it just felt like the film kind of petered off. So much of the build-up is unique and interesting, but the payoff is just things we've seen before a million times. It wasn't really that scary or impactful. There are plenty of great scenes leading up to these events, but the events themselves were just meh. If you're expecting an actual horror movie out of this, then this might not be the movie for you. There are certainly horror elements sprinkled throughout this film, but for the most part it's kind of just creepy, and it really sucks because there's so much that I loved about the film's presentation. To have an unsatisfying conclusion with no real payoff just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Hereditary is a film that had many satisfying payoffs throughout, but this is a movie that kind of just blew its load at the very beginning. Unfortunately, you never really know what you're gonna get with how A24 markets their films. A lot of people were freaking out about how this movie supposedly almost got an NC-17 rating, so I was kind of expecting some next level disturbing gore or violence, but then after watching the movie I remembered, oh yeah, the MPAA is really stupid and it was just for nudity and sexual content, okay. I'll certainly watch this film again, and who knows, maybe I'll feel differently about it knowing what to expect. I really can't tell you whether or not you're going to enjoy this film, so you're just gonna have to see it for yourself. I would recommend it for sure. There's plenty of great scenes and performances, and overall it is a memorable film that did leave an impression on me. I might change this rating later, who knows, I might like it more, I might like it less, I have no idea. But for now, I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. I don't know. Is it closer to a 6 than an 8? I think it's just a 7. Thank you.